We're getting down to the pointy end of the 2026 tournament, and this one, like many others in the past, has not been without its upsets and controversies, so today we'll not only cover this year's highlights, but the history of World Cups and legends from the past. Now, before we get started, I recommend you get yourself a pen and a paper. It makes it a lot easier to work things out and keep track of your score. Today's quiz will be a standard format of 2 rounds of 15 questions each. It'll get progressively more difficult as we go along, and there'll be time at the end of each round to recap if you need more time. Alongside these recaps, there'll be a couple World Cup themed brain teasers. So these are worth 2 points each. Today you'll have to solve the anagram imposter and a one-note wonder. Anyway, enough yapping, let's kick off the first half.
Round 1.
Question 1. Which country holds the record for the most FIFA World Cup titles? Question 2. Which country hosted and won the very first FIFA World Cup in 1930? Question 3. When was the last year Italy qualified for the Men's World Cup? Question 4. What is the name of the loud plastic air horn that was banned after the 2010 World Cup? Question 5. Which country is the only nation to have played in every single Men's World Cup since 1930? Question 6. Diego Maradona scored the Hand of God goal against which country? Question 7. Which continent has won the most World Cup titles? Question 8. Which 2 countries were the first to jointly host the FIFA World Cup? Question 9. What was the name of the controversial match ball used in the 2010 World Cup? Question 10. Where will the 2030 World Cup be held? Question 11. How many games will be played in the expanded 48-team 2026 World Cup? Question 12. What is the length of hydration breaks in the 2026 World Cup? Question 13. Which artist did Shakira team up with to bring us the official World Cup song Dai Dai? Question 14. Which country's supporters can you hear in this audio clip? Question 15. Which World Cup team does this kit belong to? Now, a bit of extra time if you miss something, but if you don't need more time, have a crack at the brain teaser. This one is the anagram imposter. Try to figure out which one of these anagrams does not correctly spell one of the qualifying teams in the 2026 World Cup. Okay, time to run through some answers for round one. The country which holds the record for the most FIFA World Cup titles is Brazil. The country that hosted and won the very first World Cup in 1930 was Uruguay. The last year Italy qualified for the Men's World Cup was 2014. The name of the loud plastic air horn that was banned from the 2010 World Cup was the Vuvuzela. The country that is the only nation to have played in every single Men's World Cup since 1930 is Brazil. Diego Maradona scored the Hand of God goal against England. The continent that's won the most World Cup titles is Europe. The two countries that were the first to jointly host the FIFA World Cup was South Korea and Japan. The name of the controversial match ball from the 2010 World Cup was the Jabulani. The 2030 World Cup will be held in Morocco, Portugal, and Spain. In the expanded 48-team World Cup this year, there will be 104 matches played. The length of the hydration breaks in the 2026 World Cup are 3 minutes. The artist that Shakira teamed up with to bring us the song Dai Dai was Burna Boy. The country that these supporters are from is Norway. And this kit belongs to Mexico. Now, did you manage to solve the brain teaser? The anagram that didn't correctly spell a qualifying country was number 4. It looks like it says Uruguay, but it's spelled incorrectly. Good work if you got that. Once you got your points tallied up, we'll move on to round 2. Things get a bit more challenging here, so good luck.
Round 2.
Question 1. Who has more Instagram followers? The Cabo Verde goalkeeper Vozinha or Timothy Chalamet? Question 2. Zinedine Zidane was sent off for headbutting an Italian defender in which World Cup final? Which World Cup qualifying country is shown on the map? Having waited a 20-year gap between World Cup tournaments, they defeated Ireland and Denmark in penalty shootouts to secure their spot. Question 4. Which two countries have won back-to-back World Cup titles? Question 5. Pelé won 3 World Cup titles, but in which years did he win? Question 6. In the 1986 World Cup, Diego Maradona won the Golden Ball for Best Player, but which English striker beat him to the Golden Boot by scoring the most goals? Question 7. Which Asian nation has achieved the best result in the Men's World Cup history, having reached the semi-finals? Question 8. Which country became the first African nation to reach a World Cup semi-final? Question 9. In which city was the 2014 World Cup final held? Question 10. Who has played more World Cup matches, Messi or Ronaldo? Question 11. Who holds the record for the most goals scored by a single player in a single World Cup tournament? Question 12. Before being surpassed in 2026, which German player held the record for the most goals scored in men's World Cup history, with a total of 16? Question 13. In the 2006 World Cup, an incident occurred where a referee showed a player 3 yellow cards before sending them off. Which two nations were playing when this incident occurred? Question 14. What is the smallest country by population and landmass to ever qualify for the World Cup? Question 15. Of the 7 nations that founded FIFA in 1904, which of these countries was not represented at the meeting? Was it A. Belgium, B. France, C. Germany, or D. Spain? Time for another recap here, but if you don't need the extra time, have a go at the brain teaser. This puzzle's called the One Note Wonder. Try to identify what the song is from only the first letter of the words in the song. And now it's time to reveal some answers. So, question 1, who has more Instagram followers, Vozinha or Timothy Chalamet? It is Vozinha. Zinedine Zidane was sent off for headbutting an Italian defender in the 2006 World Cup final. The country highlighted on the map was Czechia, or the Czech Republic. The 2 countries that have won back-to-back World Cup titles are Italy and Brazil. Pelé's 3 title wins were in 1958, 62, and 1970. In the 1986 World Cup, Maradona was beat by Gary Lineker for the Golden Boot. The Asian country that's achieved the best result in the World Cup was South Korea, reaching 4th place in 2002. The first African nation to reach a World Cup semi-final was Morocco in 2022. The 2014 World Cup final was held in Rio de Janeiro. Between Messi and Ronaldo, Messi has played more World Cup matches. The record for the most goals in a single World Cup is held by Just Fontaine with 13 goals in 1958. Before having his record broken by both Messi and Mbappe, Miroslav Klose previously held the title with 16 goals. The match where the referee gave 3 yellow cards to the same player was played between Australia and Croatia. The smallest country by population and landmass to ever qualify for the World Cup is Curacao. The country that was not a founding member of FIFA was Germany. That's all of the answers, but how did you go with that last brain teaser, that one note wonder? The solve for today's puzzle was Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Good effort if you got that. That brings us to the end of today's trivia. Feel free to let me know what score you got in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed today's trivia, a like goes a long way, and get subscribed so you get notified for new videos. If you got any suggestions or feedback, would love to hear it, sound off in the comments. Anyway, I hope you had fun, maybe you learned something. Until next time, thanks for playing.